And here we are, ladies and gentlemen. What's going on? This is not clickbait. This is not clickbait at all. I've already uploaded 2 videos talking about all of this. And yeah, another assassination attempt has happened according to what we are hearing from multiple sources right now. Here you go. Breaking: officials believe the shots fired at Trump International Golf Club were intended for former President Trump, according to sources familiar with the matter. They tried to kill him again. How has this happened twice now? Why are people able to get within range of president with firearms? How is this happening? This is fucking crazy. So this was initially reported, okay? It was initially reported that this was not targeting President Trump. As you see right here, I uploaded one video on this channel talking about this story. And then we got an update where it was confirmed that Donald Trump was the intended target of the shots fired at Trump International Golf Club, according to CNN. We now have a live news conference that's about to start here pretty soon. So we're going to have to hear what they have to say. But this is where we are right now. Now, are you still crying about mean tweets? Are you still crying because he said he hates Taylor Swift? Is that what your focus is? I'm so tired of all these bitch-made betas crying over the most insignificant shit in the world. This is now twice that they have tried to assassinate this man that we know of. So this is where we are. Trump is safe. I just want to confirm that. There was no, I don't know if he, so again, here's the actual details that we have right now. Donald Trump was the intended target of the shots fired at Trump International Golf Club, according to CNN. Agents opened fire on a man who was at Trump International after they saw what appeared to be a gun, according to the New York Post. Officials believe the shots fired at President Trump, or the shots fired at Trump International Golf Club, were intended for former President Donald Trump, according to sources familiar with the matter, CNN reported. Sources said that Secret Service spotted a suspicious individual on the Trump International Golf Course, West Palm Beach, and opened fire when agents saw what appeared to be the barrel of a gun, the New York Post reported. Senator Lindsey Graham says he spoke with Trump after the incident. I just spoke with President Trump. He is one of the strongest people I've ever known. He is in good spirits and he is more resolved than ever to save our country. Yeah, at his own golf course. So let's hear what these guys are saying right here.
Pennsylvania to what happened today. We are still very much in a fluid situation. But in Butler, Pennsylvania, it was a rally at a location that was very unfamiliar to Secret Service. They scouted the area. They did all their trying to do all their due diligence. This one's at Mar-a-Lago, the residence of the former President Donald Trump. They go in and out of there quite a bit. Trump notably golfs quite a bit. Can you talk about that, just the familiarity with the location? It is outdoors. It is a golf course, so it's a very wide area, but maybe the challenges of setting up security around this facility, but also maybe the ease in some of the just the familiarity for Secret Service and law enforcement at this place in West Palm Beach.
Yeah, so the Secret Service has a great, they've been doing this a long time. And so with regards to especially here, the former president, that whenever he or a member of his family that's still under protection continues to travel about, that they are doing what they can do to spot a threat before that threat becomes an issue for the Secret Service, to be able to eliminate that threat, whether it be removing somebody that's suspicious before it becomes worse.
So we're currently waiting on an update. And Axel Jensen says this man dodging bullets like Neo. Let's go. Jake Skywalker says the new normal for 2. Let's see. Serge Binder says God will keep protecting this man. Let's hope so.
I want to do this.
Okay. We've got Ministry of Wrong Think for 10 says they should call the weapons used against Trump POTUS makers. Seriously, though, isn't it odd CNN was the first to get the truth out, considering how they've covered the first attempt at Trump? Very interesting indeed. Very interesting indeed. And we're still waiting because, like I said, initially when I uploaded my video, it was reported that this wasn't directed at President Trump. And now here we are with the reports that it was directed at President Trump. So we're just going to have to continue to wait. And this right here is the scene. This right here is the scene in West Palm Beach right now. You have cops that have got the whole entire area shut down right now. So yeah, this is pretty crazy, man. Hannity's on Fox right now talking about it. Okay, let's go to, do I need to pull up YouTube TV? Yeah, because I have let's see here. Give me just a minute. I'm working on it right now. Why do I always have to sign into this shit? It doesn't make sense why I always have to sign in. Okay, let's go to live. That doesn't help. None of this helps me right now. I'm still looking to see if I can find anything. YouTube TV is kind of jacked up. It doesn't work that great. I wish it worked better, but it just doesn't. Top picks for you and all of the NFL games are on. That's fine, but I don't care about the NFL now. At the moment, I'm more worried about President Trump. Fox News. Okay, here we go. Right here.
Received behind closed doors as it relates to the Secret Service, the lead up, the handling of what happened in Butler, Pennsylvania.
Sean,
now we have another incident here where within a couple of hundred yards, somebody with a high-powered rifle is near Donald Trump. That cannot happen to any politician.
Let's break that down for a second. Eric says that the fifth hole, it's in a public residential neighborhood, a commercial neighborhood. It's not like Mar-a-Lago by itself. The president is on the fifth hole, and that's about 100 yards from the street.
He said it is one of the closest areas to the street on the golf course.
100 yards is shorter than a football field.
Okay, so he's looking at 2 football fields, but having been a shooter my entire life, my mom was a prison guard, I think you know that, I can tell you that is, you're a sitting duck at that range, Eric. You're a sitting duck. And if somebody has that rifle within that range of any high-level politician in this country, we've got major problems here. Now it's going to raise another question, and that is, okay, how did anybody get that close? How did they not know? And then we have one other factor here. The reason that the Secret Service, law enforcement were able to act so quickly, and I want to also back up and say the president and Steve Witkoff, who he was playing golf with, both of whom I spoke to over 3 times now, you know, they talked about the professionalism of the Secret Service around them and how quickly they acted to protect the president. But that's not the question. The question is the range, what the perimeter needs to be defined as, how did a gun get that close to the president? And if CNN is right and the president was being targeted, we need to know. If it was a shootout between 2 individuals, as the New York Post reported, we need to know. But either way, it's unacceptable. And there's a lot to answer for here. And this is really, really scary that we're not protecting our elected officials.
Yeah, I mean,
and I'd say the same thing about any Democrat too.
Yeah, of course, of course.
Well,
just keep in your mind, 100 yards away from the street.
It's not that we're not protecting our elected officials. All the elected officials, especially the Democrats that are wanting to take everybody's guns, they have more security than you can imagine. They don't have a problem. It's only one guy that continues to have the problem.
To target the former president.
Here's one other factor I think that we really have to think about. I was told by the president and by Steve Witkoff, who heard from officials almost immediately thereafter, that not only was the weapon dropped, the AK-47 is what they were told, they identified it as, but they also were able to get the information about the car that the shooter got into. And that enabled them to follow and find the shooter and there's a whole series of events that have been unfolding. My understanding is that shooter is in custody. So if that is the case, again, I haven't confirmed it with law enforcement, but that's what they believe, that this person is in custody. But the only reason that they were able to find this individual so quickly is because drone footage was available to them that they immediately turned around. Now, if the drone footage is available to get a picture of the vehicle, the license plate number, a description of the individual.
Why didn't they see an AK-47?
Why didn't they see an AK-47? And secondly, we'll know if this was an assassination attempt. That video has to. How long will they wait to release that to the public? Because I think the public has the right to see that.
Yeah, we should see that.
Well, Sean, you're right. I mean, the public does have a right to see it. The public has a right to know every single detail available. And I'd like to think that they are going to present it, excuse me, especially the pressure the Secret Service is under and has been under, but considering what happened in Butler, Pennsylvania. I want to get to what you said, Sean.
Let me bring up one point to what you're saying, because you're raising a great point. Let's think back to Butler. What were we told initially? That we didn't have agents on the roof because it was a sloped roof. We soon found out that there was a roof with a greater pitch, but we did have agents on that roof. Now that we've had a chance to actually look at the roof where the shooter shot the president in the ear, I used to do roofing, guys. I fell off a roof nearly 3 stories and nearly died and busted up my face and my arm. It was a mess. So I know what a slope roof is. On the roof in particular that we were initially told was sloped, it wasn't sloped at all. And that is alarming to me because they didn't tell us the truth from the very beginning. And you could almost put ice on it, let it freeze, and I could ice skate on the roof because the pitch was so, it wasn't really a pitched roof in any way.
Yeah.
But go ahead,
and Sean, to your point, Sean, because you mentioned how Eric Trump was pointing out that this 5th hole, the putting green, is the closest point of this Trump International Golf Course to the street. And as you are also saying that you mentioned perimeter. Exactly what should be the perimeter of protection. And that's pretty close, 100 to 200 yards with a clear sight from the street as well. And I want you to speak to that, but I also want you to speak to, at the same time, and I'll toss it over to you, Eric also is now alarmed and worried because according to other reports that we have not confirmed, but you just told us that you're getting from another network, CNN, to be clear, that an armed individual was intended to target Donald Trump. Now that these reports are out there, again, we're waiting to confirm it. We'll get all the details from the sheriff's department when they come up with this press conference. But given that, I'm interested in knowing what the former president, his demeanor is now. And we know that the former President Trump, he's not a wilting flower. He's not one to hide. But given what is happening and the state of things right now, and this may be too early, but might he consider, I'm not saying that he doesn't have a right, of course, to play golf on his golf course, but might he consider some of his more public
No, Trump's not a pussy. He's going to keep moving forwed because that's the type of guy he is.
President Trump for almost 30 years. I know Eric Sean has also known him a long time. He's been, he's used a lot of shoe leather on the streets of New York, doing amazing reporting his entire career. And I know him well enough to know that he will not cower. He will not back down. He will not say, oh, I'm not going to play golf because it's too close to a street. However, it's really not his job to secure the perimeter. The perimeter that you're talking about has to be defined as any range where any high-powered rifle can hit a target, such as, in this case, a former president and a presidential candidate. As it relates to the drone footage, I don't think we can put enough emphasis on this. The reason they were told, and they relayed to me specifically, that they were able to discover the car, the location, the license plate, and able to track it down so quickly was because of that footage. That would tell me that they probably have footage of the actual shooting, and they should know at this press conference and be able to inform us and whether or not they have examined that footage, what's on that footage, and if in fact this was an assassination attempt, as one network is reporting. They believe that they're quoting sources close to the case saying that they believe now that that's what the case is. I've not been able to confirm that. I don't like to get ahead of myself on these issues.
Sure.
Yeah,
But the president's
Sean,
attitude
too?
you asked about too, he's, once he knew everybody was safe, Steve Witkoff, called me, he said, I started shaking my head. He's like, where's Steve? Where's Steve? Because the president was brought to safety first, and then everybody else, which naturally would be the case, was brought to safety. And Steve heard him asking, where's Steve? Is everybody else safe? He finds out they're safe. And then he's like, I wanted to finish that hole. I was even, and I had a birdie putt. So I don't think the Donald Trump we know is going to change.
Sean, if you
and
have
to be clear, I just want to clear up something quickly, Eric, because I want to be clear, Sean, that I don't know the former president the way you do, but what I do know of him, I wouldn't expect him to back down either. So I wasn't suggesting that he should, but just wondering if for a nanosecond that would have crossed the mind. But really, it does beg to emphasize your point of the perimeter of protection and what that should be, and to make sure that he's being protected as he should.
Eric?
He is. I was going to say he's a defiant New Yorker, as you know, Sean. Let's say that what I wanted to bring up is why was someone allowed as close, that potentially that close, 100 yards? Why was someone on that street? Why wasn't that street closed potentially if this gunman was there targeting the president, as is being reported potentially?
It was Eric Trump. I'm not familiar with the golf course. I've never played the golf course. I asked Eric, I said, how far away was the street, the location where we believe this happened, to the green where your father was? He said it was less than 200 yards. With the type of rifle we're discussing here, again, I'll use sports analogies. It's a layup. It's a 1 foot putt, maybe a tap in, and too close for anybody with that weapon to be anywhere near any high ranking official in our government, Republican or Democrat. It doesn't matter. We have to keep our elected officials and our candidates safe. Something has broken down here on a very large.
Hannity, quit being politically correct about this. This is not an elected official problem. This is not a widespread problem with elected officials. This is a problem with Donald Trump and Donald Trump only. No other elected officials are dealing with this consistently. This is a Donald Trump problem, and there's a reason why.
Steve Witkoff described to me today, watching them in action, the agents around the president, how quickly they dove on him, tackled him, put their own bodies in harm's way to protect him. Those are amazing people. But it doesn't mean institutionally that things aren't breaking down. And that is going to be the major question moving forward. Whatever shocked Senator Blumenthal into saying that the public will be shocked and appalled at what we learned about Butler, it really, I shudder to think, on top of that, what happened today, because a gun, a rifle, high-powered rifle, got within short range of President Trump. And we had 4 shots that were fired off. They recovered the rifle on the site. They were able to get a description of the vehicle, the individual, because of drone footage. Credit for that. But why did he have any access to that distance with that rifle around the president? That has to be asked. That has to be answered.
Sean, those are excellent questions that we do need to have answered. This is our continuing coverage of today's breaking news. Everyone, hello. I'm Arthel Neville alongside Eric Sean. We're reporting that shots were fired in the vicinity of former President Trump as he was playing golf in West Palm Beach, Florida, happening around 2 p.m. Eastern time. And we are expecting to hear from the Palm Beach Sheriff's Office any moment to provide an update. Sean Hannity has been reporting along with us this entire hour, and Sean was actually invited to play that round of golf with the president this morning, but he declined for, he just wanted to take the day off as he deserves. But Eric is here. Sean Hannity's still here. You go ahead.
I happened to go to breakfast with the president's golfing partner. I'm friends with him, Steve Witkoff, developer. He's just a great guy. In all honesty, I mean, I think he's shocked by what he lived through today. And he's like, why don't you come play golf? I'm like, I don't have time to play golf. I got to work. But he did invite me. And his description of everything that happened is pretty chilling. I mean, these are life-changing moments. I remember where I was when I saw when President Reagan was shot. We remember the assassination attempt against Gerald Ford. I remember as a kid when Robert F. Kennedy was shot.
So according to CNN, because we've gotten two different reports right now. So according to CNN, the shots were intended for President Trump, and Secret Service saw the barrel of a gun pointing towards President Trump and took the shooter out. From what I heard, there's another report that said that these shots took place outside of the Trump International Golf Course and that it was not directed at President Trump. So we've got two different stories that are out there right now, and we are currently waiting for the West Palm Beach Sheriff's Department to make a statement so we know exactly what's going on.
Yeah, Sean, we're looking at live pictures right now. Police presence very heavy. The few details that we do have, lots of questions with the few details we have at this point. A black vehicle has been impounded. One man is in custody. A gun has been recovered. An AK-47 long-range rifle has been recovered. And we are looking for more answers in terms of your very pertinent question, Sean, that you're raising, which is the perimeter surrounding the former president, whether it's President Trump or President Biden or any other elected official. Party affiliation does not matter. Protection is what counts. And those are some of the questions that you're raising. And we hope to get answers, because given the state of things these days, and especially in light of what happened on July 13th, the attempted assassination on the former president, the Secret Service will be held to the fire, and everyone wants answers. Everyone deserves answers.
You know, one thing Eric Trump said to me was actually, and he was kind of choked up when he said it to me, my father is running out of lives here. How many more rifles are going to be within assassination distance of my father? And he said it with great passion and love, as somebody who himself, he is an incredible marksman. And had been out shooting with some of our nation's very best earlier today, sent me a video of it just so I could fully understand the capacity of the rifles that we're talking about. These are sports shooters and sharpsmen that he's become very good friends with. Now, with that said, when this incident happened, immediately, not only did the Secret Service secure the president, get on him, quickly get him on a golf cart that it has high-speed capability.
Just to make you all throw up in your mouth a little bit, Kamala Harris says, I have been briefed on the reports of gunshots fired near former President Trump and his property in Florida, and I am glad that he is safe. Violence has no place in America. Thank you, Kamala, for your prepared statement that literally someone else had to write, because you couldn't even form that sentence. But there you go.
The immediate vicinity of the president, that tells me that everybody in that location was doing their job. But that is not the big question. The big question is, if you're within a couple of 100 yards of a elected official, a presidential candidate, a former president, you cannot have any situation where you have somebody with any high-powered rifle around them. And that is a question that's going to have to be answered, and answered very quickly.
All right, Sean, listen, stand by for us. We're looking at a live shot here of heavy police coverage there in West Palm Beach, Florida, near Dixie Highway, if you're familiar with the area. Sean, stand by for us. We are going to get some more from you when we, in a moment, but right.
According to CNN, the shooter had a GoPro. That is what Jack Posobiec just tweeted out. Shooter had a GoPro, according to CNN.
Vehicle has been impounded. This happened apparently a few hundred yards from the fifth hole where the former president was playing golf. The AP reporting that the gunfire came from a Secret Service agent who opened fire at a suspected person with a weapon while the former president was playing golf. So we certainly will hear more about this potentially when the West Palm Beach police have their news conference, the sheriff's office that we're waiting for now. The president and Biden and Vice President Harris have been briefed on the security incident near the golf club. Lucas Tomlinson live at the White House. Lucas, anything more on the reports that this may have started when a Secret Service agent saw a potential gunman at the golf course and opened fire?
Well, Eric, that's almost exactly what happened. Fox News can now report that it was the Secret Service that fired the gunshots at this suspected gunman outside former President Trump's golf club, Trump International, in West Palm Beach, Florida. The Secret Service saw a man carrying an AK-47.
What?
The man with the AK-47 did not open fire. It was the Secret Service that opened fire. The man dropped the rifle, took off running. We now understand, based on local reports, that that suspect is now in custody. We are awaiting a press conference from the Palm Beach County Sheriff's Office as well as the Secret Service. It will both be at that press conference, but Fox News can confirm once again it was the Secret Service that fired those shots at what they saw was a threat to the president who was playing golf. As we just heard from Sean Hannity, former President Trump was on the front nine at Trump International. When these shots rang out, the Secret Service saw what they thought was a threat, a lone gunman carrying an AK-47. That man did not fire the shots. It was the Secret Service. That suspect went running, and we're now told he's in custody, Eric.
That is the breaking news that it wasn't. Now we know, according to the Secret Service, a gunman firing at the president. It was a potential threat to the president, of course, a man with an AK-47 shot at by the Secret Service agent. So, Lucas, obviously what we're talking about.
Okay, so that's new information. So according to this report, this is the third different report we've gotten now. So at first we were told that there were shots outside of Trump International, and we were told that it was two different people shooting at each other, but it was near Trump International. Then we were told that no, there was actually shots that were intended for President Trump, and the Secret Service saw it and they shot back. Now we're being told that there were no shots directly at President Trump, but the Secret Service, the shots that are reported are from the Secret Service. That's the latest update.
The president was on the fifth hole on the front nine at Trump International. How did this lone gunman know? Perhaps he followed the motorcade. Of course, when the former president travels, he travels in a motorcade. He has Secret Service protection. But that is one of the things. If this was another potential assassin, how he had this information about where former President Trump was playing golf. Of course, he owns numerous golf courses in the state of Florida, Doral in the Miami area. But of course, Trump International is the closest to Mar-a-Lago and Palm Beach, where he resides. That is one of the big questions we hope to hear in this press conference coming up shortly, Eric.
Yeah, and even if you don't know exactly what his schedule is, if you're a local, you know that the former president.
And we're hearing that the shooter had a GoPro. That's what we're hearing, that the shooter had a GoPro. Jack Posobiec says, breaking. I am told the shooter's position on the golf course possibly would have had line of sight of President Trump if he had not been stopped when he was. Benny Johnson is tweeting out some pictures that I will show you guys here in just a minute, but we want to wait for this press conference.
And the Secret Service did a great job. So in light of the new reporting that the Secret Service did what it's supposed to do, it saw a threat to the president, a potential threat, a man with an AK-47 within the vicinity of the former president on the street, a few hundred yards apparently away from the fifth hole. And the Secret Service agent did what they are trained to do, took out the service revolver, their weapons, and tried to stop this apparent suspect, this man with the gun, and the shots were fired, and now he is in custody. We don't know if he was shot. We do know this man is in custody. So at least in this case, right now, it appears that the Secret Service protection worked. But as Sean Hannity was saying, there's certainly a lot of questions Why would someone with an AK-47 be able to be line of sight of a former president of the United States? And why was he allowed on that street? And potentially, why wasn't that whole street in the vicinity closed so this couldn't have happened in the first place?
That's right, Eric. And an AK-47 is very hard to conceal. You know, it's a rifle. It's not a handgun. So unless the man was wearing, you know, a long jacket, but again, it's probably, you know, 80 degrees down there. So it looked strange if somebody was.
Bro, I can barely sneak my like M&Ms into a movie theater these days, and you got a dude like carrying an AK-47 around near Donald Trump. The fuck out of here, man. There's a lot of problems with this scenario. There's a lot of problems. There's better security at a movie theater to trying to force me to buy a $25 pack of M&Ms instead of me carrying in my $2 pack. This is insane.
Of course, some critics, of course, would say violence, if it was indeed the Secret Service protecting the president, some might say that violence was necessary potentially.
Yeah, certainly in protection of the former president. Our hats off and gratitude to the men and women of the United States Secret Service for the protection that they do to the top-level politicians who are targets of plots, one from Iran, we're told, and other mentally unstable people, and we have seen that already happen, and we've seen it too often, too many times in the history of this country when violence has occurred, and thankfully the Secret Service apparently was able to stop what.
Krista is here to collect super chats. I don't know if she wants to come in and say beep to everyone, but Krista's here, so she's collecting all the super chats. So everyone say hello to Krista.
Beep.
And there she is.
So good news to report here is through our Brett Baier, the former President Trump saying to Brett Baier, tell everybody I am fine. So that is the most important piece of information at this point, that the former President Trump is okay. He is unharmed. I'm going to bring in a former FBI Special Agent Nicole Parker. Something else that's really important in this reporting now, Nicole, that has changed, that we can now confirm that the pop, 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 the 4 gunshots that were heard around the Trump International Golf Course in West Palm Beach around 2 p.m. Eastern time, those shots were fired by a Secret Service agent who noticed a lone gunman carrying an AK-47 who was considered a threat to the former president, not very far from him, according to Eric Trump, that 5th hole where the president happened to be at that time.
I did hear about
I didn't hear
they died in a car crash.
So given what
I gotta
know,
look into that.
This changes the game. This is yet potentially another attempt on the life of the former president.
I agree. It's more and more looking like it was a targeted attempt against President Trump. And here we are again. But you know what the difference is? There's some very key differences in this instance. The Secret Service stepped up to the line and they did everything that they needed to do to stop the threat immediately. Thank you. That is what they should be doing. To Sean's point, how did this individual ever get this close to where President Trump was in the first place, though? And that's something that has to be looked into. I believe of all of the individuals in this nation, frankly, in this world right now, President Trump probably has more threats against him than any other person because he's being, looked at as a political candidate. But yes, we have foreign adversaries that are not fans of President Trump either. Iran has been very vocal about this. I'm here in South Florida right now. It's hot, it's humid and sticky. And again, to hide an AK-47 today, it is very hot. There are heat advisories. That's not something easy to do. And it would look very, very odd to be walking around Florida today, with a jacket on, and it just wouldn't look right. I think one thing that's important to note is the 5th hole of that golf course, the Trump International Golf Club in West Palm Beach. It's just west of I-95. I've actually been to that golf course before, but the 5th hole in particular, if he was on the green of the 5th hole, then that's actually about 225 feet from a public bus stop. Okay, not 225 yards, but 225 feet. And so again, it goes back to Secret Service. You're really needing to provide enough resources to protect President Trump. Okay, any street that's within the vicinity of where he may be, that has got to be covered. It absolutely does. And with all the threats that he is being faced with, he deserves this. He should be able to go about and live his life This wasn't even a rally. This is at a
You know who should be held accountable? I don't know, maybe the media that constantly lies about President Trump, maybe Kamala Harris, who stood on stage at a debate and literally lied about Donald Trump for 90 minutes and no fact checking was given to her. Yet at the same time, those same moderators were fact checking Donald Trump the entire time, making it seem like he was lying, even though he wasn't, and then not saying a word to Kamala Harris. Why don't we start holding the people accountable that are literally lying, and then mentally ill people that the media likes to want to embrace and tell you, hey, there's nothing wrong with you. Celebrate your mental illness. These mentally ill people are picking up on all of those lies that the media is spreading, and we continue to have situations like this.
Correct. He's going to be Mirandized. He's going to have right to attorney. Let's see if he decides to speak without an attorney present, if he gets an attorney present. But if this individual chooses to speak up, law enforcement is going to be asking him everything
What up, Babo
imaginable
Yogi?
under the sun. What were you doing there? What were your intentions? Why were you here? Where are you from? But they're also going to be looking at things that he's not going to tell law enforcement. Very rarely do you go into some sort of interrogation setting and they actually, confess and say, this is what I was up to. This is what I was doing. That's extremely, rare. But they're going to be looking at his digital footprint. They're going to be looking at everything, the location of the car, the drone. That drone has so much valuable evidence. Law enforcement is not only going to be speaking to the suspect, but going through all of his social media accounts, interviewing who his family members are.
Let me get in here. As we said, the suspect has been apprehended, and we want to toss now to the police in Martin County, Florida.
Here we go.
They're speaking now.
Saw the vehicle, matched the tag. We set up on the vehicle by using what we do here. We pinched in the car, got it safely stopped, and got the driver in custody. Right now, as we speak, the FBI, Secret Service, Palm Beach County Sheriff's Office is at the scene. They've responded there. They'll take over the investigation. Our flatbed tow truck will tow the vehicle back to Palm Beach County, and I have a clear understanding from the investigators there that we actually do have the suspect that they were looking for in Palm Beach County.
Do we know that suspect's name yet?
We know his name, and the FBI clearly knows his name. I am not in a position to release that.
I know that Trump posted on Truth Social that they had recovered an AK-47, I think, near where the shooting incident happened. Anything that you can confirm for us?
Audio is
I
terrible.
don't know any more about the scene in Palm Beach County than what you and the media have determined. I hear the same chatter.
Okay, I can't deal with that. That audio is absolutely horrendous. See if they fix that really quick.
It is my understanding.
Yeah, that's bad. That's really bad. Is that you guys hear my audio clearly, correct? Because that audio is terrible.
Was arrested. Again, they're in Martin County, Florida. He says that the vehicle has been impounded. I believe I have Nicole with me still. Nicole Parker, if you're with me, I wanted to ask
Gary.
you. They have this vehicle in custody.
Are they using
you and I were
StreamYard?
just discussing in terms of what questions authorities would be asking this would-be gunman. But I also want to ask you right now, what information could be gleaned from the actual vehicle? You're going to have a VIN number. You're going to have a license plate. You're going to have the insurance papers or not in that vehicle. What can we glean from, or authorities can glean from that? And also keeping in mind that an AK-47 long-range rifle was also collected on scene.
Right. Those
Actually,
are extremely...
Nicole, I do apologize. We've got that audio back again, so I'm going to go back to that press conference, okay?
That driver is now in custody and in the hands of the Federal Bureau of Investigation.
What was his demeanor, Sheriff, when you approached the car?
The suspect's demeanor I would describe as having a relatively calm, flat affect. He was not displaying a lot of emotions, never asked what is this about. Obviously, law enforcement with long rifles, blue lights, a lot going on, never questioned it.
Was he armed at the time, or he or she?
He was not armed when we took him out of the car. Of course, we didn't do a search, and I would suspect that they're getting a search warrant now. The FBI will take that car. We will transport it for them back to Palm Beach County into their office.
How long was the highway locked down to, drivers on the road?
Ask him if he had Taylor Swift in his playlist on his phone.
Back here, driving southbound and northbound lane where it's blocked off and then cut across. So I would tell your viewers, don't get on 995 northbound.
Do we know? I know I had a lot of people stopping me asking if the turnpike is clear. Is that still open?
The turnpike is clear. To my knowledge, it was not involved in this incident.
Going back to the accident involving the civilians, do we know how many were in that car?
I don't have any information on the civilian crash. It's not related to the investigation, except obviously tangentially because they crashed because of the traffic stop.
Do we know too, I know you don't have much information, but was it two civilians colliding or were they hit by a responding officer?
Yeah, your question about whether there was the nuances of that crash, I don't have the information, I'm sorry.
Anything else to add, Sheriff, that I haven't asked you about?
Well, we're very pleased with the cooperation we've had from the Florida Highway Patrol. Palm Beach County Sheriff's Office flew their helicopter in here to assist us, the FBI, the Secret Service. You could not ask for better interagency cooperation.
Sheriff, how did the complications after you got that bolo? How quickly do you think the Martin County Sheriff's Office was able to spot that car?
Yeah, the time between when the bolo went out and when we had the vehicle was just no time at all. I had just sat down to have my only second cup of coffee of the day, and as soon as I heard the bolo, be on the lookout, and the Martin, I knew we'd catch the car. I set my coffee down, started getting ready to come out here, and sure enough, we got the car.
Perfect. Thank you so much, Sheriff. I
so
really
welcome.
appreciate it.
Of
It's great to see you.
Okay, so that was a live interview there from WFLX in Martin County, Florida, which in fact is the county where the gunman was arrested. I do want to bring in Nicole Parker back in, a former FBI detective. And Nicole, a couple of things stood out to me from that line of questioning there, that the officer confirmed that it is a male suspect in custody. And he mentioned that his demeanor was calm when they pulled him out of the car. He never asked any questions like, what was this about? So, what does that say to you?
Well, first of all, to put things into perspective for the viewer, Palm Beach County is where this incident occurred with President Trump. And then it sounds like the individual headed north into Martin County. So that's the county directly north of Palm Beach County. I heard, again, I would like to get confirmation on this, but there was an accident.
Okay, I think we have a statement from Trump. I think this is confirmed right here. Let's see. This is from Breaking 911. This is a statement from Trump. Alert from Trump. There were gunshots in my vicinity, but before rumors start piling out of control, I want you to hear this first. I am safe and well. Nothing will slow me down. I will never surrender. I will always love you for supporting me. Unity, peace, make America great again. May God bless you. The man right there. It does look a little fake, but that's from Breaking 911. And then we got it from Election Wizard is showing it. So I'm not sure. I think that might be legit. It sounds like something Trump would say. All right. It sounds like something Trump would say. It absolutely does. Let's see. I'm going to keep looking. I'm going to keep looking.
They mentioned the Secret Service working with the FBI, Palm Beach County Sheriff's Office. They mentioned that they were going to be taking the vehicle back to the FBI office in Palm Beach. The FBI Miami headquarters
That's from him. That's him.
Miramar,
I think that's
Florida.
Trump. That's from Trump.
I'm not certain that that's where they're
Let me
going
see if
to
I
take
got
the
the
car, but a
email.
lot of times in our investigations, we take the vehicles back to our headquarters, and that's where we execute searches and do things of that nature. But there's going to be a lot of information that's going to come out. But your question about the vehicle is extremely important because that will be a treasure trove of information regarding what happened. But on the back end, there's analysts, there's individuals conducting interviews, running social media accounts, names, checking who are the family members, who are their last known associations.
Yeah, I got the alert on my phone. So that is 100% from Donald Trump. Alpha Chad Energy, Donald Trump. So let's go back over to it one more time. That is 100% from Donald Trump. So there it is. There were gunshots in my vicinity, but before rumors start spiraling out of control, I want you to hear this first. I am safe and well. Nothing will slow me down. I will never surrender. I will always love you for supporting me. Unity, peace, make America great again. May God bless you. This dude cannot be stopped. He cannot be stopped. That is absolutely insane, man. What a freaking Chad.
things in the glove compartment, things in the back compartment behind the seat where you can, put magazines, etc. They're going to, as you can imagine, they will search that car from front to back, side to side, up, down, and all around. And in the meantime, if this guy, I want to go back to his demeanor too, Nicole, because when he was arrested, when he was stopped, they said his demeanor was calm. He didn't ask, what is this about? So it's as if he obviously knew he was going to get caught. He knew the jig was up and he's there. So what does that say to you? Do you think that given his calm demeanor that he might be willing to cooperate?
I would certainly hope so, and that is an important point to make. He, was calm, and I agree with you. The gig is up. A lot of times in these high-speed chases, again, we can't confirm that it was a high-speed chase, but in incidences where it is a traffic stop, and they're like, "Look, I'm caught. What do I need to do?" And let's see what happens. Again, I don't want to say if this individual is going to be willing to speak or not. I know several times I've been surprised when suspects have been willing to speak, and I thought there's no chance that they're going to speak, and they willingly do. So let's see what happens. But law enforcement is handling this appropriately, and it sounds like everything is going as it should, and I'm glad to hear this in light of what we saw after July 13th. The most important thing, I think, to Americans is full transparency. That is lacking. We still don't have answers to questions from what happened in Butler, Pennsylvania. It's time for Americans to know exactly what's happening. If a mistake was made or whatever it might be, or it was just an incident that occurred, Americans deserve to know. And let's put it all out there. And I appreciate the media. I appreciate Fox for waiting to confirm information, because like Paul Morrow said earlier on in the program, 9 out of 10 times the first information coming out is not accurate, and it changes and it evolves. But all people are interested. And again, President Trump has a right to live freely and safely and not have to live in fear of violence, and that his life is constantly at risk.
Indeed, lots of great points you make there. Another point that we want to share with our viewers and everyone listening to us through our Brett Baer, the former president did say, "Tell everybody I am fine." So that is good news to report. Nicole Parker, former FBI special agent, stand by for us, and we'll get back to you in moments. Let's go over to Eric now.
Arthur, let's just recap for a second what we know as of this moment. That suspect in custody after authorities say he was seen with what could be an AK-47 in the vicinity of former President Trump as he golfed on the 5th hole of the Trump International Golf Course. The Secret Service agent saw a man with a gun and then opened fire, says the service, on the man at that threat. Apparently didn't hit him. The suspect apparently drove away, but by using a drone, authorities were able to follow his vehicle, stop him. That vehicle, we're told, now cleared, and the man in custody. No indication yet if that alleged gunman opened fire with his weapon at the former president, who, as you said, wants
everyone to know. We're only 2 months removed from the last one.
He's safe and well. Let's bring in Fox News contributor and former D.C. homicide detective Ted Williams. Ted, we had Sean Hannity was on and has been on with our coverage, and he was saying that Eric Trump told him that the 5th hole is only a few hundred yards, or Nicole said maybe a few hundred feet from a bus stop. I mean, it's very close to the street, so you have a line of sight. Wouldn't, first of all, that street be closed? Second of all, let me just point out, thank goodness for the Secret Service that they were able to identify an
holy crap, Jeffrey Jackson for 100, a MAGA red 100. Appreciate you, Jeremy. I get all my election breaking news from you. Keep the faith. Thank you, Jeffrey. I appreciate that, man. I try to stay on top of it to the best of my ability. We obviously got a lot going on with like Geeks and Gamers and, all these other channels that we're involved in. But these next couple of months, the focus has to be on, what's happening here with the political landscape. Jeremy, you need a purse for sneaking in candy. Dan, let's go to the movies, man. I need to borrow your purse so I can sneak in the candy. So if Dan Bassick is in the chat, I just need to use his purse so we can sneak in some candy so I don't have to pay those expensive prices. Just Mall says some evil ass people around these days. Absolutely, man. It's scary. It's scary what we are seeing right now.
Readers or car readers that could look at the license plates, and that was one of the other ways that they were able to find this individual right away.
A U.S. official telling Fox News.
Greg says CNN is actually covering this better. Let's all right, let's check that out then. Give me a second. So let's let me pull up CNN really quick. And because Fox, I mean, I'm not a fan of Fox. CNN's been reporting some of this stuff earlier than everybody else, which has kind of been crazy. God, Wolf Blitzer. Do I really have to listen to Wolf Blitzer though? God.
Law enforcement originally said shots were fired. They believed at President Trump that Secret Service returned fire. As they're interviewing the agents involved and getting this richer picture, it appears now that as President Trump was golfing at whichever holes he was golfing at, the Secret Service team that was with him is advancing forward of that location so they can clear those areas and double check them. And at some point see this individual with a rifle pointing out from behind a tree line or a wooded area, that they go confront this individual, and that the shooter with the AK-47 or this semi-automatic rifle does not fire shots, but is confronted by the Secret Service, who fires shots at him. He drops the weapon and flees. Witnesses see him get into that car.
This is better information.
Sheriff, Snyder told us, and that's the Martin County Sheriff, not the Palm Beach County Sheriff, that be on the lookout for that vehicle went out. They flooded the highway. If you could go, if you can still bring it up to the picture of that car stopped at that site, you know, what you see there is a classic vehicle containment technique, or a VCT, where one car gets in front of him, backs into him, the other car gets behind him, and the third car blocks him in, and they come out with those long rifles pointed at him and start to give him commands, which he complied with. And of course, then the search of that car. The FBI will be taking over the investigation into the shooter and into this individual's background, and into what he was doing allegedly in that area with that rifle as the former president was playing golf just a short distance away. And that is probably some of the details that we hope to get more on at this upcoming briefing from local and federal authorities.
I'm sure we'll get a lot more information. And John Miller, what does it say to you that they found near the scene of all of this at this golf course,
Thank you.
AK-47 style rifle?
So that speaks to, and you know, we've heard reporting. The problem is when people who aren't familiar with guns, eyewitnesses and others describe it, you know, it goes from AR-15 style to AK-47, but we've been told AK-47, which is a foreign-made rifle. You know, the AR-15 is the all-American gun that, you know, Americans knew from what our soldiers carried in, you know, the last 3 wars. The AK-47 is a Russian-made gun. There are many Chinese-made copies, but it is readily available at weapon stores and favored by some shooters. Remember, Wolf, we have a very brittle time in American politics where tensions are high. We have a previous assassination attempt against former President Trump that we all remember from very recent days. We still have the potential reactions to some of the controversies that have been stirred up just since the debate about a number of issues which could inflame people. But we also have, and this is important to note, the Iranian threat, which is because President Trump, when in office, ordered the killing of Qasem Soleimani, the head of the Iranian Revolutionary Guard. The Iranian government had.
This is significantly better coverage so far. Thank you to whoever said that. I appreciate the recommendation.
To take revenge on that. And we will also recall just in the last few days, the arrest of an individual named Merchant from Pakistan who was working with the Iranians to recruit assassination attempts for high-level officials on the ground.
Well, now he's starting to piss
one of
me
the
off,
problems
but whatever.
in this case, as they try to develop background on this.
All right. Well, now he's running his mouth about nonsensical bullshit. But in terms of the information that they gave us about the Secret Service, about the location of the guy, about what had happened, CNN was giving us better information when it comes to that. And then, of course, CNN gonna CNN, of course.
The beginning stages of that with more than one motive out there in the ether.
And it's interesting, in the last several days, several law enforcement sources, including sources within the Secret Service and the FBI, have told me that as a result of the assassination attempt a few weeks ago in Pennsylvania involving the former president, security has been beefed up, not just for...
We are currently waiting for a news conference from local officials in West Palm Beach. I have that feed pulled up as well. So we are currently waiting for that. So we'll get some official news, because this has been pretty messy, this story, in terms of the information we've been getting. So we're currently waiting to see exactly what all is said, but there's been a lot of different versions of what has happened today.
Intensity around the president, the vice president, who is now a presidential candidate, the former president, who is a presidential candidate, and others. And I think if you look at what happened today, the fact that Secret Service agents were moving forward and managed to interdict this, whatever it was. And again, we're still trying to determine, did this individual get off a shot, or were the shots just at him from the Secret Service, who confront a man near the former president in the woods with a semi-automatic rifle? So we have a lot to learn here.
And presumably we'll start getting some answers very, very soon once the Secret Service briefing begins. And we're told not just Secret Service representatives, but FBI representatives and local police will be at the microphones there briefing us on what's going on. We're standing by for live coverage of that as well. Caitlin, I know you're getting more information as well.
Yeah, Wolf, we're waiting to hear from officials
we
on
know
more
she
on
hates
what they
Trump.
know as this investigation is ongoing and what they've learned now that Donald Trump was on the golf course when this has happened. He is now back at his Mar-a-Lago club. I should note we saw his motorcade returning earlier after the club, the golf club where he was, the course had been on lockdown for quite some time. That's why he had not yet gone back to the...
GMG over on Rumble says, does Jeremy even pay attention to the Rumble chat feed? No, I never look at the Rumble chat feed. How on earth would I have known what you said? I never look at it.
Just kind of the timeline of what happened on the golf course. Walk us through what you and our team is learning.
Yeah, Caitlin. So here's what we were told. We were told that Donald Trump was on the golf course, as we had noted, between holes 5 and 6. He was moving between holes 5 and 6. Now, he has a Secret Service team who is with him, as we have reported. They travel both ahead of him, so an advanced Secret Service, as well as behind him to kind of bookend the former president. So we were told that that team that was ahead of him, a number of holes ahead of him, engaged with this suspect ahead of him. And that is when this incident occurred. Then I'm also told that Donald Trump was then essentially taken away in a golf cart. He was with Steve Witkoff, who is a mega donor as well as an ally of the former president. They were golfing together this Sunday. And then they were taken to the course where, as you noted, they were put on lockdown. So really the news here, and John Miller said part of this, is that that advanced team was the one who first engaged with the suspect that was just a few holes ahead of Donald Trump. He himself was traveling between holes 5 and 6. At least that's what we were told by someone who was briefed on the matter.
Okay, so this is really important because essentially what we are hearing is that Secret Service fired first at this individual as a protective measure, that they essentially, because they walk a few holes ahead of where Donald Trump is on the 18-hole course. Is that right?
Yes. And so they would have engaged with him. They shot at him. We still don't understand if there was an exchange of fire, but we do know that Secret Service did release rounds towards this suspect who was ahead of Donald Trump. Now, this is a very big golf course. That does not take away the significance of this event, but it will show you that they were ahead of him in significant ways when this incident occurred, but still very much in the vicinity of Donald Trump. And obviously, as we have been reporting over and over again, officials do believe the intended target.
Thank you, Dr. Spike.
Well, and Kristen, I think part of this is the service and the protection around Donald Trump has certainly been always present, of course, since he became a major candidate back in 2015. But ever since the attempted assassination in Butler, Pennsylvania, I mean, you can see it when you're around him. that, they check everyone's bags, they wand everyone down, that even comes in his vicinity and is around him. But when it comes to securing something like the golf course, as you just noted, it's a pretty large area spread out across several acres in West Palm Beach. I mean, do we have any indication of what this looks like? There are agents with him, but
So this is from Raw Alerts over on Twitter. This is Florida State Representative John Schneider reports that the suspect in the Trump golf course shooting is a white male in his mid-60s. Some people are posting pictures of like Stephen King and Mark Hamill and all that. But that's just what Raw Alerts has right there.
As various lawmakers who come down to Palm Beach to meet with him, as well as donors. So what they did in terms of local PD Secret Service to block off this area is very unclear. And as you can see here, it's a heavily wooded area.
Thank you,
so
GJJ.
You can see in the picture there, they'd have to do a lot to block off that area. There's quite a bit of foliage there, which is what we are understanding. Something came, as John Miller said, from a tree line or that area looking down at the golf course. But just overall, he has had ramped up security at almost every event and at his homes, Bedminster, as well as Mar-a-Lago, including those road closures. Just for one example, I was at an event recently where I talked to a number of Secret Service agents who had come from headquarters in Washington, who had volunteered to be there as part of this kind of entourage of Secret Service agents as they've really tried to beef up the security around Donald Trump. I am unclear, and this is one of the things that I've been asking about, when that advance team of Secret Service began traveling with him, because it hasn't always been that there were multiple teams traveling all around him on the golf course. But clearly at this time, I'm not sure if it was related to the assassination attempt or if that's something that has just come into practice in recent years. But he clearly had a team both behind him that whisked him away and nearby enough to him, as well as this team that was scouting out ahead of the holes. And that is the team that we know engaged with the suspect.
Yeah. And that's the question about the perimeter, because, if you're going into Mar-a-Lago or going into the Trump golf course, obviously there's a security perimeter or a security measure at the entrance. You go through magnetometers, they wand people down, they check to make sure they're on the list. But the perimeter is a whole different animal as we're waiting to learn more. Kristen Holmes, I know you'll continue talking to your sources as you hear more, come back to us. And Wolf, obviously, as we've been looking at this, it's just this effort where we're waiting to hear from officials about this. But I've just been talking to several people in Trump's orbit that are stunned that this is a conversation that we're even having again right now, after just living what they went through in Butler, Pennsylvania, with that attempted assassination that we all witnessed on camera where he was on stage. And now, a lot of people who are getting calls or were speaking with Donald Trump today, Wolf, just say that they're shocked that this is, again, what they're witnessing, as they themselves are waiting to hear more from officials about what they know about the person that the sheriff said earlier that they do have in custody.
I'm not surprised one bit. And I call bullshit on the fact that Trump officials are stunned by this. Why would they be stunned by this? People like you, Caitlin Collins, and Wolf Blitzer, and CNN, and ABC News, and MSNBC, and Fox News to some extent, and people like Tommy Lahren, and even a lot of these conservative, fake phonies like Tommy Lahren. All of you have created all of this divisiveness and spread all of these lies and this nonsense for years and years and years. So no, I don't think anyone's surprised.
As well, we heard a little bit just now from the sheriff from Martin County, just north of Palm Beach County. What goes through your mind, Chief Ramsey, listening to the information that we're getting, at least so far?
Well, I mean, I'm like everyone else. It is shocking that, just a couple months ago, Butler, Pennsylvania, and now we're having the same conversation.
Why are you guys acting sympathetic? You're the motherfuckers who have avoided talking about Butler for the past 2 months. The mainstream media has completely stopped talking about this. And now they're like, I'm just so shocked that we're only 2 months removed. And I hate the media.
Words, we don't know if it was a shot fired, but it doesn't sound like any shot was fired by the suspect. But it is something of great concern. One thing, though, I think is really important to note how fast the information was put out on the vehicle. They had a tag number. They put a bolo out, be on the lookout, and police were able to intercept that car pretty quickly and apprehend the driver. So everyone worked very fast and it was well coordinated. So as far as communications went and so forth. So that's a good part of it. We'll find out more as time goes on after this press conference.
It's pretty interesting how they're not actually bringing up any of the real issues. So if something would have happened, if there was any type of attempt against Kamala Harris, which I'm not hoping for that at all, and no one should, that no one's wanting that. But do you know what the narrative would be from CNN? Do you know what the narrative would be from the mainstream media? How dangerous it is for a woman of color to be in the United States, and Donald Trump's racist rhetoric is what led us to this moment. Donald Trump's racist rhetoric is what's motivated all of this, and it's so dangerous for her. That's the narrative that would be around it. But with Trump, they're just, casually just talking about how terrible it is.
Assassination attempt in Butler, Pennsylvania as well. So we're watching all of this very, very closely. And what intrigues me, the notion that they found an AK-47 style assault rifle. How accurate would that be from a distance on a golf course, Chief?
Well, one of the issues that we have is that we don't know what the distance from that tree line to the actual golf course. I would assume that it's close enough.
Okay, I've had enough CNN. We're going to switch back over to Fox, and they're currently waiting for the news conference to start.
Again, someone with the gun near him. He was wearing a bulletproof vest. What type of questions do you think are now before the Secret Service that thankfully were able to prevent a tragedy today on the 5th and 6th golf hole of the golf course of Trump International? What questions do you think they will face now on Capitol Hill that thankfully, at least in this case, their protection, their professionalism, their sacrifice and diligence was successful?
And it changed everything 2 months ago. The Secret Service
So that's from the FBI? The FBI says man arrested after attempted assassination of President Trump. That's from the FBI. That's the language they're using. That's pretty interesting. C-Man over in Rumble for 10 says, let's see, going to bet these Trump shooters are huge fans of The Last Jedi. Well, you never know, right? You never know. If you're just tuning in, we have had a situation in West Palm Beach, Florida, at one of Donald Trump's golf courses where multiple different reports were going around out there. So let me just show you guys, this was one of the first reports that were out there. Colin Rugg, and Colin Rugg's a great follow on Twitter, by the way. 2 people exchanged fire as Donald Trump left his golf club in West Palm Beach, Florida, according to the New York Post. The shooters were reportedly targeting each other, and the gunfire was not targeting Trump. Trump was put into a hard room for protection after the gunshots rang out. Blah, 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 blah. So that was the initial report. Okay. So let me see here where we're at. Then we got this one. Okay. Breaking: Donald Trump was the intended target. And then, so it's just been weird from there. There's been a lot of different reports. And so we're just trying to keep up with all of the different stories that are out there. So, yeah, that's where we are right now. I'm trying to see. All right. Got so many messages coming to my phone right now. So, yeah, the story is slowly changing. And so we'll just see what happens.
Vehicle in terms of preparation for the events that took place today on the part of the armed suspect. And that is, were there additional weapons in the car? Were there materials that would give an indication of some ongoing type of surveillance of the protective detail by the suspect, to include any potential maps of the golf course, of other locations in the Palm Beach area, up to and including Mar-a-Lago. So in other words, was there extensive homework done in advance prior to today's events? And then, of course, the ultimate question is, how did this suspect know to be at the golf course today? Was it that ongoing surveillance? Is it a leak of information?
That's a good question. That's a good question.
Or is it just a target of opportunity? And that is The former president is known to go to this golf course frequently, and the suspect was on site and prepared in the event that the former president did in fact show up. When the former president arrives to these types of locations, and Eric spoke to it earlier, it can't go unnoticed. There's a heavy police presence, a lot of vehicles, Secret Service vehicles. So it does.
Somebody said, and was he on our radar? Joseph said that. Yeah, I'm sure the FBI is gonna be like, yeah, this individual was on our radar. We've known about him for the past 6 years, and we've been monitoring him very carefully. Happens every time with the FBI.
And clearly, Charles, the Secret Service is going to want to strive for transparency, given what happened on July 13th and following. That said, though, how will the Secret Service coordinate with the FBI in terms of this investigation, and how much information can we expect to hear for them to provide to the public as we have all of these questions, that need to be answered? But it looks like this press conference is going to be getting started very soon, but you and I will continue to talk until then. So again, my point that I'm making there, as we wait for that press conference there in West Palm Beach, Florida, I'm asking you, Charles, about the coordination between the FBI and the Secret Service and the amount of information we can expect as the public at this juncture, so as to provide some sort of solace to the public, some sort of calming effect to the public, but also not to jeopardize the investigation.
Well, it will begin at this press conference, Arthel, unlike Butler, where the Secret Service chose not to show up to the first press conference, which I thought was a huge strategic mistake.
Yeah, so this language is updating for sure. And so the FBI is investigating what appears to be an attempted assassination of former President Trump. Twice now. Twice that we know of.
Of course, the Secret Service
in the last
work
2 months
very closely with the FBI. The FBI taking the lead since this individual has been designated as a suspected assassin, and so the FBI will take over that investigation. Secret Service will support them in any way possible, up to including the protective measures that were in place around the golf course.
The Secret Service will provide information that they have, as well as local authorities. West Palm Beach County there, you've got Palm Beach County Sheriff's Office early on in this investigation, as this single man has been apprehended. His vehicle has been impounded. A search warrant has been filed for to search that vehicle. And what it appears that we are going to hear from the police as well as Secret Service, as you're saying, that they need to become very public facing very quickly to provide answers, as many answers as possible at this juncture in this investigation. So, again, I'm just wondering how this changes this investigation. You've got the FBI involved, and this guy is now considered a potential assassin.
Yeah, well, there's a lot of outstanding questions that are going to be asked first, and that is this individual acting alone, part of a larger group? Is there a greater threat to not only the former president or those associated with him, including his running mate, J.D. Vance, or to the greater public? And these fall under what are known as exemptions to Miranda. That is, you want the questions answered, and you don't care if they become admissible down the line in a court of law. You want to make sure that you're asking the right questions to identify the threat.
Well, while we're waiting on this, I'm going to try to catch up on some super chats. I appreciate you guys being patient on that too. Let's see. I got that one from Axel Jensen. Let's see. Phantasmus Knox says, if Trump is evil, as the Democrats are saying, then why does it sound like the Dems are encouraging shootings towards Trump? This needs to stop. Absolutely. VJ the Vigilant says, hail, praise God for protecting President Trump. Nat Granal for 10 says, this is the at least the third attempt on his life. Kristen Welker once asked Trump if he was shaken by an attempt on his life. She went back to her network and lied about his answer, of course. The media is truly the enemy of the people. The mainstream media is truly the enemy of the people. Gerald Armstrong says Shinzo Abe should protecting his friend. JRG Project says ABC does a better job protecting Kamala than the Secret Service does protecting the leading and likely winner of this election. Absolute failure. Get out and vote if you can vote early. Axel Jensen says they don't have plot armor piercing bullets. Let's see. Is it Socrates or Scroats Magoat? I don't know if that's the meme account or not. Let's see. Disco Cobra for 10. What's up, Disco Cobra? This is another level. His own golf course isn't even safe. They will probably have to start doing perimeter checks at every spot he's going to be at from now on. Absolutely. All right. Looks like they're about ready. Looks like they are getting ready to go. We'll see. Not yet, I guess. Wonka the Sane says, how long before we're able to make it attempts on Trump's life a drinking game? Let's hope not at all. Babo Yogi says, Jeremy, seriously, you're a good dude. Thanks for all you do. Even if the lefties tell me I should hate you for your half blackness and 100% gayness. Thank you, man. I appreciate it. Cliff says, was the perpetrator a Swiftie? Coincidental timing. Interesting how that works out, isn't it? Your Barmy says, Joe on a beach 2 weeks, 0 problems. Yeah, where's Joe Biden at? Where's Joe Biden? Insane, dude. Alan Tanasi says, many men wish death upon me. A 50 Cent song. Daniel says, pray for our country. Al says, I'm going to be real. Thank God for these DEI assassins. I hate YouTube censorship. Eric Guidewall says, please pray for Trump. Please. We need to pray to keep Trump safe until election day. JRG Project says, Hannity is a problem. Stop making excuses for these freaks. The Dems have crossed the line and we are living in their world. Mike says, was this guy just a random Trump hater or was he working for someone else? Is there any chance we'll find out before this guy is Epstein? It will be interesting to see if we actually get some answers. DeBeast with 5 gifted memberships. Thank you to Beast. I appreciate you, man. Rodney Full Circle says, freaking twice now, certain people getting so desperate, but how are these individuals getting, getting these chances? VHS Capture says, an assassin and his firearm of choice is an AK-47. Is the assassin a retard? I mean, he's clearly, he's clearly not there. So hang on just a minute. I'm getting a phone call. I'm live. Got terrible weather outside right now. I can hear there's like terrible weather here in Florida. So we'll see. Let's see. Was it Kamala making statements? Is she the president now? Why is everyone okay with our legit president being MIA? Yeah, exactly. Joe Biden's asleep right now. Joe Biden is asleep. Babo Yogi says, let's see, I own a, where did it go? God, chat keeps jumping around on me. Let me see what they're saying really quick, and then I'll get back to it.
Secret Service doing everything that they should be to match the current threat level, both against the former president and here in the United States in general.
We currently,
and that's going to come to.
Right, so we're still waiting. They're probably getting all of their stuff together because not in Tampa. No, I'm in Pensacola, Florida, on the Panhandle, and I can hear it. I mean, storm. It's a pretty bad system that's coming through now. I don't think it's going to last, but we'll see. Dorian says, I do not trust anything the news or Secret Service or alphabet letter agencies say. Absolutely. Jeff Hill says, we got to keep praying for President Trump's safety because these sick people are not going to stop. This one, I need to look into this one. I'm not familiar with this story at all. I have not heard this. So did I hear that the ABC whistleblower died in a car crash? Don't forget to donate to Trump. I have heard nothing about that. I don't know if anyone else has, but I have heard nothing about that at all. Let's see. Evil Dead says, God protect Trump. We need him to save our country. Fight like hell. Thanks for your continued fantastic coverage, Jeremy. Thank you. I appreciate that. Let's see. There's Jeffrey Jackson's MAGA red super chat. Thank you. We like MAGA red super chats around here. America 76 says, yeah, I agree with Jeffrey Jackson. Your streams are where my wife and I generally tune in. It's great to hang out here, and the streams and you and your team put on are greatly appreciated. Well, we appreciate that. Thank you, guys. Skywalker DFS says, just another day in the thug life. President Trump has been... oh, here, hang on.
Be able to fit the muzzle through a fence line.
President Trump has been shot at more than any rapper. Reports are saying that loads of Crocs and Lord of the Rings DVDs were also found in the suspect's car.
Again, like I said, this green,
Can we
this
listen?
whole...
We are going to give you...
Nicole, let's go to the news conference and listen.
From the FBI, from the Secret Service, from the State Attorney's Office, we are going to give you everything we have. Everything. All right? So when we get done, think about your questions, because we're not going to take a lot. And keep them to the information that you heard. Don't get into what ifs. And because of this, we're not going to go there.
I'm getting the copyright warning that they're going to block my stream. So I don't know if my stream's going to get taken down, but they're giving me the copyright warning right now.
It's called in by the Secret Service because we're in constant contact with them all the time. We were notified of that, and we had units here that immediately sealed off the area. Fortunately, we were able to locate a witness that came to us and said, hey, I saw the guy running out of the bushes. He jumped into a black Nissan, and I took a picture of the vehicle and the tag, which was great. So we had that information. Our real-time crime center put it out to the license plate readers. And we were able to get a hit on that vehicle on I-95 as it was headed into Martin County. We got a hold of Martin County Sheriff's Office, alerted them, and they spotted the vehicle and pulled it over and detained the guy. After that, we took the witness that witnessed the incident, flew him up there, and he identified as the person that he saw running out of the bushes and jumped into the car. Now, in the bushes where this guy was, is a AK-47 style rifle with a scope, 2 backpacks which were hung on the fence that had ceramic tile in them, and a GoPro, which he was going to take pictures of. So those are being processed right now. The Secret Service agent that was on the course did a fantastic job. What they do is they have an agent that jumps one hole ahead of time to where the president was at. And he was able to spot this rifle barrel sticking out of the fence and immediately engage that individual, at which time the individual took off. So that's what we know about the investigation. We have somebody in custody right now that is a potential suspect. We got a little bit more work to do on it, but as we usually do, as soon as we decide that we're going to book him into the county jail and the charges that he's going to be booked into, we'll get those to you and we'll get a picture of him and we'll get you his background. So now I'm going to turn it over to the representative of the Secret Service, and he's going to make a brief statement.
Hi, good afternoon, everyone. I first want to thank all of our law enforcement partners, to include the Palm Beach Sheriff's Office and the Martin County Sheriff's Office, for their involvement today. Former President Donald Trump is safe and unharmed following a protective incident shortly before 2 p.m. on Sunday at Trump International Golf Club at West Palm Beach. The U.S. Secret Service personnel opened fire on a gunman located near the property line, and this matter is under investigation. I'll turn it over to my partners over at the FBI.
Good afternoon, everyone. My name is Jeffrey Veltri.
Is this the same FBI that raided Trump's house?
Miami field office. The FBI has assumed the role as the lead federal law enforcement agency in the investigation of the incident that occurred earlier today at Trump International Golf Course here in West Palm Beach, Florida. We've deployed a number of resources, including investigative teams, crisis response team members, bomb technicians, and evidence response team members as well. What we need right now is for the public to avoid the area around the golf course. We will continue to support this investigation with the full resources of the FBI, alongside our partners with the United States Secret Service and the Palm Beach Sheriff's Office, as well as Martin County Sheriff's Office and state and local law enforcement. I would ask that if anyone has any information that may assist with this investigation, to contact our tip line at 1-800-CALL-FBI or at tips, that's tips.fbi.gov. Thank you.
David? Hi, I'm Dave Ehrenberg, State Attorney for Palm Beach County. I want to thank Sheriff Bradshaw and our partners at the local, state, and federal levels. I'm here because our prosecutors are currently working up warrants and a motion for pretrial detention for the suspect. In that way, he will be kept in custody. But our filing of these warrants and charges at the state level does not preclude federal charges that could be coming. But in the meantime, it looks like the warrants and the pretrial detention motion will happen first. And again, I want to thank the cooperation we've had with our federal partners and at the local level. And thank you all for being here today.
Okay, we're going to make these pictures available to you. It'll show you a picture of the backpack and the rifle. And there's also a GoPro on the fence there where he was intent on filming what was going on. Even though we're going to have to secure a couple of areas around the golf course here, the public doesn't need to panic. We know that we got a post office, a library, and a school down the street. So we'll make it convenient for you to get to all the places you need to go, get your kids to school, get them over here to the post office or wherever else you need to go. It's safe. There's no more danger here, and we'll make it very convenient for you. So having said that, we're going to take a very limited amount of questions, and you can direct them to who you want to answer the question.
Sure. Did this individual make any statements as he was being detained?
No statement right now as far as his involvement in the incident, and there's further investigation to be completed.
What was his demeanor like?
Yeah, I'm not sure if the Secret Service gentleman answered. I misunderstood, or I couldn't quite understand. So there was a rifle. So one of your agents saw on the golf course a rifle pointing to a fence. Was it a chain link? Okay, so he saw that, the agent.
That is correct. Yes.
And the president or the former president was on the course behind him. How close?
It was 1 or 2 holes behind.
1 or 2.
That because the bubble moves through the golf course, so our agents will get there first, clear it. He noticed that the rifle was pointed out. Our agents engaged. We are not sure right now if the individual was able to take a shot at our agents, but for sure our agents were able to engage with the subject. I don't know that.
Doesn't appear so.
Is there more?
Yep.
How far away was the president? How far away was Donald Trump when this gentleman was caught and stopped?
Probably between 300 and 500 yards, but with a rifle and a scope like that, that's not a long distance.
For the Secret Service, how far was your agent from the would-be assailant?
That I'm not sure right now. We're still looking into it.
Reports of the 4 rounds of ammunition were fired. Were all 4 of those from your agent?
That is correct. 4 to 6. We're not sure yet.
Was there a long distance? Explaining why?
Yes.
And
Yes, ma'am.
then WPF-25, I was wondering what how this was able to happen, and for future reference, is there any security in the golf course?
I didn't hear about that. Say that one more time and talk up a little bit.
So how was this able to happen, and for future reference, is there any security in the golf course?
Well, you got to understand the golf course is surrounded by shrubbery. So when somebody gets into the shrubbery, they're pretty much out of sight. All right. And at this level that he is at right now, he's not the sitting president. If he was, we would have had this entire golf course around it. But because he's not, the security is limited to the areas that the Secret Service deems possible. So I would imagine that the next time he comes to the golf course, there'll probably be a little bit more people around the perimeter. But
he was
the
shot
Secret
at 2
Service
months
did exactly
ago.
what they should have done. They provided exactly what the protection should have been, and their agent did a fantastic job.
Which direction was the shrubbery where he was? North, south? I guess east, west, or south is the road?
The layout of the golf course, you got three.
So he says he's not the sitting president right now. Hey, sir, where is the sitting president right now? Since he's so important, where is the sitting president of the United States right now? Could you tell us where he's at right now? Since that seems to be the most important thing right now, where is the sitting president? Does he have all of the security right now surrounding him?
3 holes, 5, 6, and 7. Right? One of them runs parallel to Summit Boulevard. One of them runs parallel to Congress. And he was in an area in the shrubbery where he could see both holes. So the president was another hole back, which means he's about between 400 and 500 yards away.
So he was on the golf course?
Oh, he's on the golf course, yeah, but he's back a ways.
For the Secret Service, have you guys changed at all the way that you guys are protecting former President Donald Trump? This now potential second attempt on him. Can you just elaborate on how things have changed and what you make of all this?
Yes, the threat level is high.
Wow. Thank you, Secret Service. The threat level is high. Really glad you guys are right on top of things.
We have increased the amount of assets that we've supported. So we live in danger times. So yes.
Can somebody ask the FBI? And I really wish that there was I wish Alex Jones was there and say, excuse me, FBI, is this the same office that actually raided Mar-a-Lago and went into Melania Trump's bedroom and, went through her drawers? Is this just, we're just curious if this is the same FBI.
We're done with questions right now. There's really nothing more for us to add. I just want to tell you, the Secret Service and the FBI and the state attorney's office have been fantastic to work with. And I can tell you right now, our agency with this real-time crime center was fabulous. That's how we got the guy. We started out with, we don't know anything, to where we had a tag, we had a vehicle description, and we got an area where we saw the person. So be proud of your law enforcement. All right, thanks folks, we'll get back to you.
So there's that right there. So there's Fox News with their update, and I learned absolutely nothing. I learned that Trump doesn't deserve enough security. Apparently, Trump doesn't get the security that he should get, and they've decided that there's a high level threat, like unbelievable. Check this out. All right, I just saw this. So look at here. MSNBC blames the second assassination attempt against Trump on Trump.
Do you expect there to be calls from within the Trump campaign to do that? Because he's going to reach out to his supporters and say, let's take this down. We do not know, again, the source of any gunshot or gunshots. We don't know who's responsible for this. The whole thing has yet to be 100% confirmed from start to finish how this all played out. But do you expect to hear anything from the Trump campaign about toning down the rhetoric, toning down the violence, or would that be atypical of the former president?
Well, Alex, remember back to the assassination attempt on President Trump's life and how, there was talk of a new tone, and then the Republican convention was, by Trumpian standards, muted. And it did seem like he was, just trying to take it down a few notches. But then by the end of his convention speech, we were kind of back to where we started. So I don't know how long this could, this moment of unity for the country where we come together and we say, I don't want any political opposition to be under threat of violence. It's not okay, any threat of violence, we don't want. I would love for us to have a unity type moment, but I think it's probably going to be pretty fleeting, as we've seen in the past.
There's only one thing to add to that. And it is right here.
Shut up, silly woman.
That's all you can do. That's all you can do to that situation right there. So MSNBC has decided that it's Trump's fault. It's Trump's fault. Good Lord, man. The mainstream media continuing to melt down. And yeah, unbelievable, man. So that's where we are. Joe says, thanks for your coverage for $10. Thank you, Joe. I appreciate that. That boy says Trump 2024. Thank you. Inkling 98 says, if you type in COV into Google, it always suggests Coof is still here and it ain't over. How the fuck are they always top results? Are there that many NPCs still obsessed with that topic or what? No, I think that the media wants to push that topic, though, for sure. Moral objection for 10 says, people I've known my whole life are openly calling for his assassination. People who work in healthcare and mental health saying he needs to be ended. These communists can't be reasoned with. No, they can't. No, they can't. Dark Obsidian says, I think this, after this failed assassination attempt, it's safe to say, and I hate to say it, I hate to say this way, Trump, the White House. Say that again now. I think after this failed assassination attempt, it's safe to say, and I hate to say that this way, Trump, the White House. I don't know if you mean he's not going or he will be going, but I think here's the thing. I've talked about this many times. Okay. Trump, if you think it's bad now, when Trump wins in November, from November to January is going to be significantly worse. That's good. They're going to burn the country to the ground. Okay. They're going to burn the country to the ground. And that is the scariest part of this whole thing. They absolutely will. They absolutely will. And we got to be prepared for that. We have got to be prepared for that. I think he was probably using voice to text. I totally understand. So let's see. Bobo, let's see. Where did it go? Bobo says, let's see. I own a Shaytac 408. I can hit a 25 cent or a quarter at 900 yards 92% of the time. All these news assholes don't know jack shit when they keep spewing AK-47 shit. 199. Jeremy's eyebrow says, God is protecting Trump. I can't wait for Jeremy to get baptized by Alex Jones in 2025. VHS Capture says, next update, turns out he was just trying to pawn a rifle and a GoPro, and it just happened that 45 was going golfing. Yeah. Nandy says, too many, let's see, inconsistencies in all the reports. No mention of the security lapses yet. I'm still getting the copyright warning on YouTube. I'm still getting it. My camera is delayed. Let me switch over to my other camera really quick. All right. Camera won't be delayed now. I'm still getting the copyright warning. I'll show you guys. This is exactly what it's saying to me. Look at that. So you see where it says, heads up, we've detected audio in your stream belonging to someone else. Your stream may be temporarily blocked if you continue. I'm not streaming. I'm streaming. I'm talking. I've been talking for the past 5 minutes now. So yeah, that's YouTube for you, man. The YouTube copyright system is annoying as hell. Hail to the Rumble chat. I see everybody over on Rumble and Kick. I appreciate you guys being here. UP says, probably the left will say again, he orchestrated it. Oh, you know that's what they'll say. You know that's what they'll say. Where we at? Jet Engine says, that's my old jurisdiction, West Na. That shot on the screen is from South Boulevard and US 1, Fire Station 2 zone. Donald Trump visited Station 2 back in 2018. Oh, when it was earlier, probably when I had that shot on the street corner. Jake CB says, seems like a Secret Service PR stunt to save face. Yo Pop says, expect nuclear attacks, whether it's because NATO provoked Russia or false flag op, martial law, and canceled elections. Anti-Pattern says, sorry, I was wrong. He didn't die. Too much misinformation. Oh, the $20 you sent about that. Got you. Yeah, I didn't hear anything about that. So Beastie Man says, funny how it happened right after the debate again. Yeah, does that mean Kamala's going to drop out now? Does that mean Kamala's going to drop out? Listen, and I've talked about this. So they've been focusing, a lot of the media has been focusing on Laura Loomer. And my response to that was, if the media is focusing on Laura Loomer, do you know what that means? That means that they're terrified because they have nothing on Trump. They have nothing. If that's their focus, Laura Loomer is their focus, then the media is panicking right now because Trump is dominating. There ain't no way. I don't know if I want to share this picture. People are starting to share pictures of the gunman, but I don't know. I'm not seeing that confirmed anywhere else. So I'm trying to look and see if we've got any more confirmation. There are a few. I'm seeing some people sharing this, but I don't know if that's legit or not. So I'm going to wait and see if there's a few more people that share that out first before we do it. Oh my God, some weird stuff going on. Look at this. Look at this one. MAGA is now claiming there was another assassination attempt on Trump. Fact is, Trump was never in any danger, and after two people exchanged gunfire outside his Florida golf course, they just keep pushing more and more lies. You got to be kidding me, man. You got to be kidding me. These guys are the absolute worst, dude. They are the worst. Yeah, people are saying this is the shooter. So I don't know if this is confirmed or not. Okay. I don't know if this is confirmed or not, but people are saying that this is the shooter right here. All right. That's what people are saying. I don't know if it's true. So we're going to have to wait and get more confirmation. But there's been several people that are saying that that's the shooter, but I don't know about that. I don't know about that. Then we have this picture right here. Person has been taken into custody after opening fire at former President Trump. Yeah, like Gary Busey. I don't think it kind of does look like Gary Busey does. Wasn't he on The Apprentice? Wasn't he on the Celebrity Apprentice? There we go, right there. 2 impeachments, 4 arrests, 91 charges, 2 attempts on his life, and still standing, baby. Still Cornholio. He does look like Cornholio. That's pretty good. That's pretty good. Ryan's second attempt on Trump following a debate as well. A feline named JJ says, see, there are too many guns. We should take away Dems and establish a 2024. Yep. Grant Potato says, never give up, never surrender. Sean Carter says, affidavit was just released about the debate. Yeah, I saw those were going around. I need to look into that more. Cyberhunk Return says, what are the odds the shooter is a Swiftie? You never know. Joey for 5 says, call me a conspiracy theory, but I believe that the Democratic Party is up to this and trying to take out president by paying people to do it. No telling what's. I just think that the media just is gassing people up with all their lies. Darth Manic, what's up, Darth Manic? Says JFK and Lincoln are probably pissed right now. LOL. UP says first debate, first attempt on Trump shortly after Joe leaves. Second debate, second attempt on Trump's life. Will Kamala leave next? And maybe Hillary Clinton steps in. Maybe. Slain Hope says U.S. hardware is being used against Russians in Ukraine, and Russia hardware was almost used on President Trump. Putin and Zelensky don't want Trump to win. Eric K says FBI is corrupt. We need, let's see. We need to get, who is that? Or Colombo on this to find out anything. FBI is not corrupt. FBI is... Calling the FBI corrupt is worse than like that's disrespectful to corruption. The FBI is evil. That's what the FBI is. The FBI is evil. They are evil as fuck. All right. And they raided Mar-a-Lago. And you know how that got swept under the rug, right? Just swept under the rug. So it's absolutely insane, man. Moving Zarg says, Morning Joe might get canceled again. There's Dr. Spike with 5 gifted memberships. Thank you. Troy News says, Liberal Hive Mind released a video today. We don't come back from this that I think is worth watching from 107 to 357. Prepare to vomit. I'll check it out later. GJJ with 10 gifted memberships. Thank you, GJJ. Sada says, so if we go by January 20th rules, if this guy has Swift on his playlist, Swift needs to be tried, correct? Good for the goose, but good for the gander, right? But you know that's not how it's going to go, unfortunately. Lean back, have a snack, take a nap says next time they talk about him being a threat to democracy, sowing violent rhetoric, who is the one getting shot at? The left are insane. Darth Manic says, Trump not ahead. Let's see. Trump's not ahead of the holes. He's in the holes. Grab him by the pussy. Thomas M says, pray for Trump's safety, stay peaceful, and vote. Darth Gavel says, may God's hand remain on Trump. Darth Gravel says, Tom McDonald, thank God the left can't aim. Bitch, you missed me again. Grand Potato, oh, we don't know the distance from the tree line it's called a rangefinder. You know, the thing the other shooter had during the first attempt. I'm a troll says, where's Bob Iger? Slain Hope says, these attempts will only get worse if Trump is elected. The left is doubling down on Trump being a threat to democracy, and they're constantly lying. Super Sentai guy says, sadly, this will not stop. Nagranos is kind of funny how we are the evil Yahtzee racist, blah, blah, blah. But not one attempt was made on Biden or Harris. Weird. Kenner G says, Epstein event incoming. Time Fire says, both attempted assassinations on Trump have occurred on weekends when the news is otherwise very quiet. I think that's just interesting. Pack and Proton says, hey, FBI, if this guy was on the Trump course a few holes ahead, how did he get there with the gun or in there? 2-time survivor Trump 2024. Inkling says, also, fuck Joe Biden, fuck Kamala Harris, and FDNC. Anyone who still votes for these clowns is more senile than the current president, Trump 2024. Ron Cook says it's Biden's fault. He's the one that called for a target to be put on Trump's back months ago. That is correct. He did. Lawrence Miller says, God bless Donald Trump. Imagination Studio says, I'm taking the day off of work November 5th. Love Dog says the whistleblower being in a car crash was disproven. Thank you. Zhao says Trump is protected by God's guiding light now. Ain't no one stopping the Trump train. Just Maul says Governor DeSantis needs to make sure the Florida law enforcement is involved in this investigation. Thoughts on fitness with Nigel says Jeremy check channel One Nation Under God and reach out. I think it's time to stick together. Definitely on the same wavelength. Double Brewski says the Patsy lived this time. He'll be Epstein soon. Matthew for 10 says Trump needs JSOC operations for his security detail. It's obvious the United States Secret Service is not up to the job, despite the United States Secret Service PPD only having one job, presidential protection. Maximus VT says, where are my breeds at? John Jones says, no U.S. president has been dragged through the mud to this extent since Abraham Lincoln. It's insane. Ron Cook says, knowing Biden and Kamala, the shooter will get bail. Nathan says, this reeks of false flag to help the Fed Leo save face after July. Eric K says, how soon will they fire the agent who engaged with the guy before he did anything? Tao Carr says, the FBI just gave away a security detail. Yes, they did. American Idiot says 2 times now, but we're the ones with the violent rhetoric. Slain Hope says, this guy got caught because he took time to frame the shot with the GoPro for fame and glory. If he was all business, he wouldn't have exposed himself. I want to look and see if there's any updates because, yeah, we are going to get more information potentially. We'll see. That GoPro footage will be fascinating. Okay. The GoPro footage, the memes are already starting. There's the meme right there. If you know, you know. All right. If you know, you know. Oh no, the memes are starting. If you know, you know. That's all I'll say. Okay, so it looks like that is officially the photo. A newly released photo supposedly shows the suspect reportedly in his mid-60s and captured by law enforcement after leaving Trump's golf course carrying an AK-47 style rifle equipped with a scope, 2 backpacks, and a GoPro. So this guy's in his mid-60s? That guy doesn't look like he's in his mid-60s. That guy does not look like he's in his mid-60s, in my opinion. Anzac says the Secret Service is an act of participant in the this assassination attempt. That is, and the previous one. Bill Leslie says, I'm a bet Obama has full security. Cryptic says Federal Bureau of Incompetence. Let's see. Anjanet says, so basically his security is upgraded a little more with each attempt he survives. You can't make this shit up. Do better, Secret Service. Yeah, I couldn't believe that. Couldn't believe he said that. That was insane. That was insane. Solo Boxer says, clearly no real significant expansion of President Trump's security at this time. Wonderful to hear. Dan Bass Sugar Mama says, a crap load of people here are still wearing masks. Zenny Biscuit says, if Trump didn't want it, he wouldn't have worn that. Wait. Oh, if Trump didn't want it, he wouldn't have worn that skirt. There you go. Yeah. I know what you're saying now. Dirt Bike for 10. We should all invest in plywood manufacturers. The violent cry riots are going to be unreal, and watch Jamie Raskin won't certify the election or they will make so much friction around it. He's already said he would. Jeff Hill says, for 10 says, so they're trying to blame Trump for what happened to him. It has nothing to do with the media calling him Hitler for 10 years, and he's a threat to democracy. These people are evil. They are evil and deranged. We got Dirtbike says Democrats turn their weakness on our political strengths into the N-word. Election stealing became the N-word. J6 became the N-word. They're out of N-words. Invest in plywood business owners. It's not bad advice, to be honest with you. Sir Link says it's a sad state of affairs when a nerd commenter is our best coverage of the national news than our mainstream media. A guy with Mario looping in the background. That actually puts it in perspective right there. All right. Somebody needs to screenshot this. This puts it into perspective right here. Like, I'm just a guy who plays Mario Kart and Fortnite. All right. And I'm more trusted than the mainstream media right now. All right. We've got like 8,000 people watching this stream. I'm an idiot that wears Crocs and plays video games. Okay. I've got Super Smash Brothers and Super Star Wars in my background right now. And that's the current state. When I am the most trusted source in all of political coverage, you know we're fucked. All right. Just saying. Thank you for the compliment, though. I appreciate it. Slain Hope says the Gaslight Olympics didn't end with the DNC. Let's see. I don't know how to say your name, but I appreciate you using credible sources. Thank you. I try, so Fabrizio TV says it's only a conspiracy when it happens to Trump. Otherwise, conspiracies aren't real. Didn't you know that? I know. Isn't that how it always works? Jason J says, imagine hating Trump so much you choose this over your paycheck and family. They want civil war that much, but they'll regret that because they lose. Spirian with the 199 super sticker. Thank you. Davish says, swig for the working man. Swig of water for the working man. There we go. Venom says, a few years ago, I was in a whole other mindset and borderline hated Trump. I'm glad I came around, and I would apologize to him about things I've said. Hey, man, that's all you can do is just come full circle. You know what I mean? So we appreciate it. We're glad you're here. Mecha Watt for $4.99. Thank you. Jared Armstrong says, I wonder if Lookner is disappointed Trump wasn't taken out. Good old Steve Lookner, man. I'll never forget when he was literally foaming at the mouth on a stream a while back over some Trump stuff. So absolutely, just these people are crazy, man. They are crazy. And this is what we're fighting against right now. I'm looking to see if there's any updates right now. But the latest that I see is the screenshot that I'm sharing. So a newly released photo supposedly shows the suspect reportedly in his mid-60s and captured by law enforcement. He had a GoPro and 2 backpacks, a gun. So interesting times indeed. Is it Le Chevalier? Says, if you think we will ever see that GoPro footage, I think that I would not bank on it, but I am very interested. Obviously, East Coast Toasty Boy says, I feel like if Donnie T went with private security, I don't think he would be able to trust most of them, even into his presidency after winning. I agree with that. I've talked about this many times when it comes to Trump. Like, I don't know how Trump trusts anybody. I don't know how Trump trusts anybody that he interacts with. I have no idea how he does that. It's like all the shit that the man deals with. I don't know how you trust anyone. Rich says that this guy looks like he drives a RAV4. Zach says they wouldn't be shutting all that down if it wasn't an actual attempt on Trump. Let's see. Emo Otaku says, happy Sunday and be safe, everyone. Let's be glad that our man Trump is safe. Philip Johnson says, poor Kyle Gass didn't get his birthday wish. Thoughts and prayers to tenacious limp dick. Black Jack says, we have to stop the cat memes. Deploy an asset. Jeremy's creamy back in says, this needs to be said in advance. The shooter did not kill himself. Mohammed says, Justin Wong has ruled the leaderboard on Capcom versus Marvel Arcade Collection on PS4 and PC and Switch. I have reached episode 278 of One Piece. Dragon Ball Z for the win. 199. 728 episodes is a lot, brother. It's a lot. Let's see. Aaron the Brit with the USA flags. Thank you. Cindy says, prayers for Trump's safety. Long live MAGA Trump 2024. Lady Aaron D says, it's ironic it's ironic the side that complains about guns are using guns to try and take Trump out. Where is the leftist outrage? Trump 2024. Thank you. Over on Rumble, Biz Jack says, pet kittens grab titties, spin fitties. It's pretty good. Let me see. We got Vault 95 says, all of those corporate content creators keep talking about super positive about the Secret Service. Is this a fake setup so they can try repairing their public reputation? I don't think so, but you never know. I don't trust anything from them, so it's a valid concern and a valid question. Vault 95 says, is there still no official story on the Butler attempt from months ago? No, not really. Vault 95 says, the one plus from this failed incident is that literally everyone is being reminded of the attempt in Butler after Google tried their best to erase it from history. Johnny the Whiskit says, the FBI put billboards in Ohio. I think that says to call to report hate crimes, both in English and Haitian language. You can guess what side they're on. F the FBI, don't ever call them. Yeah, I after the raid of Mar-a-Lago, I will never have any trust in the FBI ever again. Is it Iridium X? Is that what it is? Got you. Iridium X. Johan says, how is this Gamergate's fault? And JK Meme says, I create memes. Check out my community tab, Navy Vet. Thank you. Pasta Vazul says, suspect looks like the only guy insane enough to buy Star Wars Outlaws. And it doesn't like we have any other updates at this point in time. Let me go through my feed, see if I've got any updates. Yes, look at this. So you got this crazy woman right here. I don't know who she is, but no ears were harmed. Carry on with your Sunday afternoon. Holy shit, man. What is wrong with these people, man? Like, they're so deranged. It's out of control. Jeez. Unbelievable, man. Let's see. That's 4 days ago. Yeah, that was. Look at this. This was 4 days ago. How Times new cover, how Kamala knocked Donald Trump off course. 4 days ago. 4 days ago. And you wonder why all this hatred's going on. Absolutely insane, man. Jeez. Yeah, these people are the meltdown's crazy. It really is. And if you missed it, Donald Trump did send out a response to all of this. And he said, I am safe and well. Nothing will slow me down. I will never surrender. I will always love you for supporting me. Unity, peace, make America great again. May God bless you. So Trump ain't slowing down. He's not slowing down at all. And everybody's kind of sharing this tweet right now, as they should be. These are definitely like, these are some of the most sick and twisted individuals you're ever going to interact with, man. These people are absolutely nuts. But it's not surprising. It's not surprising. I think the fact that this is so true. The fact that this is so true. Holy crap, man. Captain Whitebread says Rachel Vindman is the textbook definition of a nasty woman. Absolutely. Ninja Viking says Trump 2024 and fuck Star Wars explained. Clown. Hell yeah. Fuck Star Wars explained. Jocelyn says, I sure do miss having an actual leader of our country. Trump 2024. Absolutely. Philippe says, the world needs Trump. This is not just a presidential election. This is one of the most important moments of our lifetime. Well said, my friend. And that's what gets lost on this from time to time is, yeah, like, this is, while it's not, obviously it's focused on the United States because it's the United States election, but Donald Trump, he impacts the world. Donald Trump, he can save the world. Do you know how much pressure is on that man's shoulders? It's absolutely insane. Andrew says, did the guy get caught because he shouted for? Don't know. I guess we'll find out. If we actually get any of the actual details, which I'm not sure we're actually going to get details. But time will tell. You know how the media is and all their bullshit. I'm trying to see if there's any more updates or anything like that, and I'm not seeing anything. Got that one, nothing. I'm curious if we're actually going to get any more information. Starting to look like Trump was only a few holes away from where the shooter was waiting, and that was an earlier update. I haven't seen this. Everybody says JD Vance destroyed the leftists on CNN. I need to look at that, and I might do a reaction to that. All right, so I think we're gonna call it there because I'm gonna look into this. I'm gonna make some more videos for sure. But this has been a crazy, crazy day. And let's see. Gonzo Sean says, fight. I'm a troll says sniper could be a decoy, should check his plane, cars, and everything else to ensure Trump's safety. Fantastic Knox says the EU are discussing whether they can use as made missiles towards Trump, yet Trump wants no wars, and he's the bad guy. Make this all make sense, please. Nobody can make it make sense. Nobody. So yeah, I think Ryan's live. So if you guys want to go check out Ryan, go over there to his stream. And I really do appreciate it. So I'm going to make more videos here, more videos for Geeks and Gamers. And I think that just so if you guys are interested, because we've only got like 2 days left now. Okay. But I wanted to go ahead and give it a mention really quickly. You can go over to 221B Tactical. Okay, we've got the IDOT Geeks and Gamers shirt that's for sale. And we have the Geeks and Gamers Flex Fit hats that are available. That campaign ends this Tuesday after Tuesday night's main event. So you got to go over there and get them now if you want them. So those campaigns end this Tuesday. So please go over there, check those out if you're interested. We really appreciate it. And thank you to all the new subscribers to the channel. We got the best peeps in the world following this channel. Thank you to all the gifted memberships. Before a Movie Sucks says, set a stopwatch, clock out the time between Kamala first saying, "I'm so glad President Trump is safe," and going back to, "He's an existential threat to our democracy." Exactly. Same Millennial says, "Fight, fight, fight. All hands on deck to reelect President Trump and more conservatives." Let's see. Download early vote action and volunteer with Turning Point Action USA today. Let's go. So yes, thank you, Same Millennial. You're always keeping us posted on that, always reminding people to get registered and everything. So we do appreciate it. But thank you guys so much. Really do appreciate it. Thank you all the new subscribers and everything like that. Tweetatone's yelling at me in the chat as always. Lots of love. Vote for President Trump. Support President Trump. This is dangerous times we're in, and it's not going to get any better. It's only going to get worse, and we've got to stay on top of things. Support your favorite creator that's out there talking about this stuff. Thank you to the Rumble chat. Great crowd over on Rumble today. Great crowd on YouTube today as well. Maximus BT says, "Go Raiders." Yeah, I'll have to check out some of the games. I'm behind on football today. So TDS is a terrible thing, says D What. I agree. It is a very, very terrible thing. So, all right, guys, I love you all. Have a great day, and we will talk to all of you later. Bye, everyone.